Hello everyone. In this video, we'll cover the rest part, that is your training module 2. In training module 1, we have covered this dashboard, lead, project, settings, and we got some hint on task, vendor, and inspiration. So, today we'll cover from task till user. So, let's begin with task. So, task, as I told you in the training module 1, that if we are making any task for a project, so it will be available in that project section in the project management tab of that particular project. And whatever task is assigned to you, it will show to you, and you can change that status and everything. But today we'll see in detail what are the things that we can do. So the first thing is, if you want to create a task, you have to click on this plus button, give a name to the task. Let's say task would be recording training video. And let's suppose I am doing this for my company. It is my ad hoc task. Why? Because this is my company level task. This is not for a particular project or for a particular lead. This is for my entire company. So this will be my ad hoc task. But if I'm doing any task which is for a particular project, then in this task type drop down, you can see project type and lead type. So you can just click on project task, and you can just select that particular project, and then you can select the due date, and then you can submit it. So it will be created for that particular project, and that will be available in the project management tab. Same goes for lead. If you are making any task for a lead, so it will be created for that particular lead, and it will be available in the task page. But for now, I'm just keeping it in ad hoc task only. And then you have the status called as created, but you can make it as in progress, because as I'm doing this particular task, so I will just make it as in progress. But you can just make it, in created, or if you want, you can just mark it done if it is completed. And then you have this priority, so you can just make it low, medium, high, whatever it is. Then if you want, you can assign to somebody. So I will just assign to someone. And here you have the recurrence of this task. If you want to make it a recurring task, maybe you want to do this every month, so you can just make it as monthly, and you can just repeat, you can just enter the repeat count, how many time you want to repeat this particular task, and you can just enter the start date. But for now, I'm just keeping it as non-recurring task, and I will enter a due date. Let's say it's today, and then I will just submit it. So this will be submitted. Now I will just check. Okay. So what are the other things that we can do in a task? So if you are clicking on a task, so this is how it will look like after creation of this of that particular task. So here you have this comment section, so you can put some comment. Maybe I will write as, I will complete this task today. So I can just write it. It will act as a kind of chat, or as a comment section it will act. Then if you want to add anything as an attachment, you can do that. And this is your log activity. Whatever changes you are doing in this page, all those record would be available here, right? So these are the things that you can do. Apart from this, you would be able to change the status that I told you in the last video as well. You can send a WhatsApp by using this particular icon. You can set a reminder by clicking on this particular icon, or you can delete a task as well. So this is your my task. My task will show you all the tasks which is assigned to you, or all the tasks which is created by you. So only those tasks would be visible. Next you have is the all task. So in all task you have again four kind of important or very useful filter. First is the ad hoc task. All the task which is your ad hoc task, or which is made for your company, would be available here. Next is your project level task. So if you have made any project level task, that will be available when you are clicking on that particular project. Next is your lead level task. So currently I don't have any lead level task. So if you have, so you can just select that particular lead from this particular drop down and the task would be visible. Next is your owner level filter. You can just check to which owner how many tasks are assigned. So you can just get a overview from this particular section, right? So you can just change it at the same time. And then you have this filter that is created, in progress, and done. So whatever status you want to see, you can just check those boxes, so all the status would be visible according to the filter you have set. So this is basically your task. Next is your petty expense. So petty expense and payment, these are coming into your finance part, and this means the difference between petty and payment is that petty expense is for your team member level expenses and payment is your client level expenses. So first we'll see the petty expense. So this is how the dashboard looks like for a admin level person. So he will be having an overview or access to all the user, whatever expense they have, and I mean whatever fund they have and what are the expenses they did and everything. Then this balance. Now how to raise a fund for a particular um, team member. So you can see this fund column, and here this is the hyperlink. So you can just click on this particular hyperlink and you can enter the amount that you want to give to your team member. And if you want, you can write some remarks also. I will just write it as fund and then add. So this will be added. And if you want to enter a expense, so for that, I mean book an expense, so for that you have to click on this particular plus button. You need to select that particular project. So we was working on this 3115 in module 1, so let's select this project only. Then enter the expense type and then amount. So amount, let's say it would be 100. Then you have the vendor drop down. So here only those vendor will be visible whom you have aligned to this particular project. So if I show you, I have several vendor, I guess more than 20 or 25, but here only few vendors are displaying because only these many vendors are assigned to this particular project. So if you are not assigning any vendor, so it will not show you anything. And if you are assigning any vendor, it will show you only those vendor, not all the vendor. So let's say I want to pay to this particular vendor, and rest other things are optional, so I'm just skipping everything, but if you want, you can of course add it. And if I go to this expense section, as I have made this payment, so I have to go to this expense section. So you can see, right, in the first row it is there. So if I just click on this, it will show you entire thing. So later if you want to edit, maybe later I want to add let's say I want to change the expense type and I want to add a category also, so I can just do it and I can just save it. So this will be saved. And if you want to download to Excel, so and this button is for that, so you can just do it. So this is basically your petty expense. Next is your payment. Now payment, this is how the payment section looks like, I mean the page. Now let's go to that particular lead. So we were working on this. So here the project value means the value that you have entered in the project section in the financial planning tab, that is the project value, so it will show. And fund means the amount that you have received from your client. Expense means the amount that you have spent for this particular project. And cash flow is the fund minus expense, and profit and loss is project value minus cash flow. Okay, now let's click on this. So you can see that this is the latest entry that I have made. So whatever expenses entry you are making from petty expense for that particular project, that will get piled up and it will start calculating, and that is your total expense. So you can do the same thing from this page also and from this page also. So this is basically same. So it will show you the vendor name, each and everything. Next is your fund. So if you are entering any amount here, so that is the fund that you are getting from your client. Let's say 500. Then save it. So this will be saved. Next is your analytics. So it is basically advanced analytics where it will show you the category wise expenses, vendor wise expenses, user expense mode in this pie chart. If you are familiar with data table, you can do that as well. Or else if you are familiar with any of this chart, you can just select it, so it will be available in that form. Then you have the expense report. So it will basically show you what are the expenses you have done, and it is kind of a report which will be generated. If you want, you can download this to Excel from this button, or else you can just have a overview by looking at this particular report, what are the expenses you did and what is the status and everything. You can just have a overview of this particular section from this particular page. Okay, next is your vendor. So first we'll see vendor and then we'll see this inspiration thing. So if I go to this payment and if I go to the same project, then we paid for Astha Interior. So let's see this Astha Interior. Okay, before seeing Astha Interior, first we'll see how to add a vendor. So first I will show you how many vendor I have. So these many vendors I have, right? But it was showing only few vendor because I assigned only those many vendor. Next is how to add a vendor. At first click on this plus button. Initially you need vendor name and mobile number. So after entering these two details, you can just save it. So this will be saved. Later you can, like after you can enter this vendor type, then working model, then your contact person status, all these things you can change it or add it. But yeah, initially you need these two things, right? Next is your vendor attachment. So in sorry, vendor project. So vendor project will basically show you that how many projects your vendor is handling, what is the agreed amount of that. Agreed amount is what is the amount he is going to get from this particular project, and disbursed amount is what is the amount you have already paid. So if you click on this particular hyperlink, it will show you that on which date what is the amount you have paid for this particular vendor, right? So yeah, this is the thing. And attachment is, if you are someone who used to keep GST, PAN card and all this data of a vendor, so you can just add it in this particular tab. So all the documents for this particular vendor will be available in the attachment section, right? So yeah, these are the things. And in vendor project, agreed amount will basically show you the amount that you have received. So if you click on this, it will show you the milestone name, the amount, what you're going to get, each and everything. So this is basically your vendor, and from here you can delete a vendor, right? So yes, these are the things of your vendor. Next is your Daisy assistant. So this is nothing but the AI assistant. So if you are writing any prompt here, it will generate one image against that. So initially you can just click on this Desilo icon and here you will get some saved prompts. You can just click on any prompt and you can just search it. So it will generate one image for that. So as you can see, and later you can add some custom prompts as well. Let's suppose I will write uh, Persian kitchen with Persian style kitchen. with island, Persian style island kitchen in bright colors. So this will generate one image and one credit score will be deducted for that. So initially you will get 100 free credits, but once you have exhausted all, then you have to recharge it. Now, what is the purpose of generating one image? That is basically, if you click on this particular icon, you can see, do you want to add this image to inspiration? And if you click on confirm, so it will show that it is added to your custom inspiration. So to understand what is custom inspiration, though we got a hint while recommending images that global is for all, I mean the images that we give to all, and custom are the images that you upload. So that is basically your custom inspiration. So if you come to this inspiration, then in global you would be able to see the images that we are providing, and in custom you would be able to see the images that you have uploaded. So you can see, right? So these are all the images that you have uploaded, and it will also show you the AI generated images, the images that is generated by AI and saved by you. So you can see these AI ribbons. So this means that these are the images that came from AI, and these means that you have uploaded from your end. Now how to upload one image? Just come to this plus button. Now choose files. So I have selected this particular image as I have already, but if you want, you can add multiple image in one shot, but I have already, and therefore just demonstration purpose I'm selecting one. Then you have to click on upload. So this will be in your review section because it is actually partially uploaded, not fully. Now, how to fully upload? At first, click on this particular image and you would be able to see that some taggings are coming. So this is basically you can add, or you can, do some kind of modification. You can add some more tagging. Then you have the design style. So you can just tag it whatever design you feel like it is, going and matching. So you can just align those design style, and then click on this approve and add to custom. Once you are clicking onto this particular section, so the image will be added into this particular custom inspiration page. So if you just scroll down, so you would be able to see. Now, let's say if you want to do some changes later, that you have added some taggings and something while adding this particular image to your custom, but later you want to change or you want to modify something. So you can just click on that particular image. Maybe you don't want this particular style, but you want this one. So you can just do that, or else you can add some taggings also. Let's say white. So you can do, and then save it. So this will be saved. At the same time, if you want to delete any inspirations, over that you have this delete icon, you can just delete it, right? So yes, this is your inspiration. Next is your user. So user, it will show you the user that you have currently in your system. So active user will show you all the active user who can use the CRM, who can log in into the CRM. All user will show the active and the deactivated users, and deactivated users are the user whom you have removed from the system. So who are those people? Maybe tomorrow somebody is leaving your company, so you can just click on this plus button. You can write disable in this way, and you can just disable that particular person. So he will be disabled or he will be removed from the system, and he will be available in this particular section. Next is, you would be able to see the access which is given to each of the roles. So let's say you want to see the access for the admin role. So you can just select that particular role and you would be able to see what are the access given. So basically the boxes which are checked in are the access which are given. Now if you want to change any access, you won't be able to change for this for global role, but if you have made any custom role, so changes can be done for those custom role. Now how to add a custom role? Just come to this add role. If you want to clone from any role, you can just select that particular role, give a name. What are the changes you want to do in the access level? You can just do it and you can just save it, so that will be saved. And this is how you can create one custom role, right? So yeah, these are the things that you can do. If you want to add any user, so for that you can just tell me. You can just write in the group the user details, so we will be doing on behalf of you. And next is your resources. So this one is basically for the pro member, so uh, we can just skip it. Next is profile section. So here you can change the password, or else if you don't want push notification, you can just disable it. If you want, you can enable it. So these are the things you can do in the profile section. Next is your logout. Logout is, of course, you would be able to log out. This is your announcement. Here all your releases, then improvements, everything would be available. So whenever you will see a dot, that means there is some update, so you can just check it. If you are clicking on see all changes, so here everything would be there, so you can just check it. All right, so this is where the training ends. Thank you.